All right, guys, how's it going, everybody? My name is Kyle here at Active Management, ready to bring you guys a pre-market report on the up and coming events that are due for the week ahead. All right. Um, it's been quite a notable year this year as we've been discussing the reopening trades of the economy from due past lockdowns from COVID. We've been talking of the specific sectors that were advancing and some that were not doing as well in the reopening of the economy. And so in today's pre-market discussion, we're going to talk to you a bit about the equities, the United States major equities, Q2 earnings, confessionals that are due to report this week, economic fundamental events on the week, and the tales of the late Chinese stocks. Right? So today's rundown will be rather noteworthy, right? Because we'll go over some specific topics in relation to what's been going on in the market over the past few trading weeks. Appreciate all subscribing members of the Active Management Retail Investment Group. You can go ahead and find me on Patreon under Active Management. That's ACTIVMGMT. You can find me here on Twitter and or on YouTube under Tilting Kai. So let's go ahead and get started. The NASDAQ, the tech giant. All right, tech giants in focus lately, as we have known that it's been the most active equity in of versus the three equities current to date. As it's been picking up its footing from being in a more sideways downside volatility event due to the reopening trade, taking a lot of attention away from tech. We have the NASDAQ has been consistently making new all-time highs. Right? The trade has been the trend has been most consistent over the last 4 trading weeks. Over the last month, more specifically, I would say at the beginning of the month in June, I have noticed that tech has really started to pick up pace here and start to catch up to the remaining equities. Right, so we have known to see the tech space outperform the S&P and the Dow, but the first 6 months of the year, that was not the case. Right, the tech space was under significant pressure and traded sideways and created a lot of volatility loops in specific stocks and sectors that has made trading tech pretty difficult. Right. So now to see tech advance more consistently and more steadily, it is definitely in the spotlight to note its notable performance. Wednesday markets were met with a bit of volatility in specific sectors and industries, and we believe it's due to the comments and discussions that were had last week. I think it was Wednesday after the close or towards the end of the day. So we opened up on Thursday with a bit of volatility. Stocks were down, S&P was down, the NASDAQ was down as well, and it brought specific pressure on most I would imagine most politically driven industries as of right now, specifically due to what's going on in hotel, travel, and leisure due to the COVID variant. It's been putting on quite a bit of selling pressure in the hotel, travel, and leisure sector. We've seen some uneasy stance in retail trade and energy to follow up the rest of the week as well. It's been a difficult environment for a lot of these industries. Energy specifically, the OPEC deal was moving forward quite a bit, and then came to a sudden halt, and no new major changes has been brought up for the production of some of these specific energy stocks, right? Chevron and ExxonMobil being at the brunt of majority of the selling in the energy space. It's been quite noted that large cap blue chip companies did not end up susceptible to the sell-offs this week. All right. Very, very good. The melt-up theory. In my last pre-market report, I spoke about the melt-up theory, and the melt-up has been continuing lately. We've been seeing new all-time highs in the SPY and the NASDAQ week after week after week. This kind of performance is quite notable. We've been using that specific details to understand what the market is planning to do in the next few trading weeks. All right. Earnings confessionals. This week, earnings was brought to our attention All right, earnings confessionals this week. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, BlackRock, and PNC Bank due to report their earnings this week. We've have had the financial sector do very well over the last 6 months. It's been at the forefront of the reopening trade in the last 6 months. All right, banks have went to all-time highs, especially Goldman Sachs, PNC Bank all-time highs. A lot of these banks went to new all-time highs, but were recently brought down off those highs, right? Which I would imagine looks set up perfectly for some good earnings events this week. We are due to see a stout performance out of the banks. Right. Also hearing about dividend increases, very nice dividend increases in some of the leading banks. And we also heard about Wells Fargo this week, removing a lot of their personal credit lines from their credit business, which ultimately hurt a lot of those customers, a lot of very unhappy customers at Wells Fargo. So even if Wells Fargo produces a good report this week, I doubt they'll have the kind of attention needed for a strong run, but we'll go ahead and let the market determine that, and we will keep our eye out on the performance in Wells Fargo. Right. I do like some of these bank stocks: Bank of America, PNC Bank, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and I do like some of these bank stocks. I do trade them short term, so I don't give them all too much attention long term, but I do like the bank stocks. Very interesting fundamentals this week for the bank stocks. Right. Economic fundamental events of the week: consumer price index and food are due to report this week. We also have Fed Chairman Powell due to testify this week as well. He's going to be having some raunchy conversations about the economic policy and the current economic status of the United States, and retail sales. Okay, I think retail sales is probably the most important sector this week. The most important fundamental event for this week. At the end of the week, we've seen Home Depot go to all-time highs and beyond, and had notable upside advantage, as well as Target during the reopening trade. So we'll see if they capture some of that momentum on retail sales this week, right? Citizens have been going out and spending money, so I do see retail sales due to be pretty good in the first coming weeks. And I will go ahead and keep my eye out on the performance of retail sales report here, due to come out on Friday. Right, so we'll be keeping our eye out on that report. So, tales of the late Chinese stocks. What has this been about? More specifically than anything, the tales of the late Chinese stocks, specifically talking about what's been going on in Chinese stocks lately. The Chinese government has been cracking down on just about everything, okay, from Bitcoin to Jack Ma's Ant Group IPO that was 2 months ago, to now Didi, which is supposed to be a Uber-like mobile cab app service that got shot down by the aggressive government regulation restrictions that have been more recent. So we've seen Didi IPO, right, and recently get shot down. The government said that they will be removing Didi from online that they should be removed from app stores. This brought significant pressure on the stock. We've even seen Alibaba has not made all-time highs all year long, literally. And JD.com now has been struggling majority of the year as well. It's been a difficult environment to keep up with the Chinese stocks. The Chinese have been banning just about everything from Bitcoin all the way up to stocks. It's been difficult, very difficult for the Chinese stocks to gain some advantage here and pick up pace. And it's also been a deterrent for retail investors, right? Much so, very much so. I've hearing a lot of stories of people giving Chinese stocks a break for now, as the Chinese government has been cracking down heavily on some of these Chinese stocks. Very important to keep up with. All right, all right. So very good. And let's see here. What was a notable event this weekend? I'll tell you what. There was a notable event this weekend. Here. There was a notable event this weekend with Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic happened to make it to space. They had their space flight this week. So we're gonna go ahead and stop over on Virgin Galactic's Twitter, and we could see a short video here of them making it into space, and Richard Branson having a bit of dialogue. Execution, execution, execution. I would say this is Richard Branson executing dreams. Everybody should go out and execute at the top of their ability every day, and this is a great example of that. Very, very good, Richard Branson. Making the impossible possible yet again. $250,000 to take a flight to space and get to experience weightlessness and the Richard Branson dream. Very, very good take there. Very, very interesting to keep up with that as well. All right. So this week, big banks do the report. NASDAQ, new all-time highs, giving it a $15,000 price target in the big tech U.S. equity. And very good. The banks fundamentals on the week, like I said, retail sales most important. I'll be keeping up with the retail sales. Consumer price index due to come out on Tuesday. We'll be keeping up with that as well. I'll be dropping that information in the group as soon as it's available. And tales of the late Chinese stocks. Right, something to keep up with. There's a news article down here from Zero Hedge talking about the exact tight grip that China has on their tech companies as of lately. All right, very good. You guys, you can also check me out at Patreon. Patreon.com. You'll be able to subscribe to my group where we do weekly pre-markets and we talk about markets. You're also able to set up one-on-one Zoom conversations with me for mentorship on your investment decisions and trading psychology. So if anybody was interested in that information, you'd be able to reach out to me on Twitter as well at Tilting Kai, and or I'll have the links below in the YouTube the details description box below. All right, go ahead, if you like this information today, definitely smash that like button on this YouTube video or share with a friend, and catch me on Patreon if you do want to do more personal detailed information about the group and what I have going on. I do appreciate everybody's time here spent having this conversation with me today, and I hope to catch up with you guys soon. Hope everybody has a good day, and see you later.